Okay. Again, welcome everybody. Thank you, Dr. Jenke, by the way. Great presentation. My name is Bryant Fong. I am the coach for the Cal Wushu team, and I teach Tai Chi for the YMCA for their AOA program, which is for Tai Chi and Qigong for seniors. I also am teaching in San Francisco Community College, also in the health and science department. My training is in both Wushu and Tai Chi. I'm one of the founders of the Cal Wushu program. And of course, I have done all the things that competitors do. I've competed, I've done all those things. But I have also studied Tai Chi to apply its principles and techniques for health. And so that was my work with City College of San Francisco. So we had a chance to compile both data as well as to talk to students about the effects of Tai Chi on their health. And so, of course, we're hoping to continue that work at this time and take a look at some of the real ways in which we can improve people's lives through the practice of both Qigong and Tai Chi. All right, so that's kind of a little bit of my background. I should mention, I am most, what should I say, well versed in Chen style Tai Chi. I studied with Grandmaster Feng Jiqiang. And I am the Bagua legacy holder in Liang style for the United States. I'm a senior student of also Lin Chao Zhen, who was a Bagua master from Guangdong. So I have some background in Xingyi, Tai Chi, Bagua, as well as the external styles. All right, so let me move on from there. So today's topic is applying Tai Chi or Tai Chi Qigong, or even Tai Chi, to the purpose of health. Now, I think just to go over a little bit of the historical background for some of the stuff. Qigong, as far as we know, is much older than Tai Chi, probably thousands of years older. As early as the Book of the Yellow Emperor is mentioned in there as a way of maintaining health and balance in your life. So that goes back quite a bit farther. Tai Chi did not become prominent in both health practice or martial arts until probably the beginning, well, not the beginning, probably mid-19th century, So it's not that, in terms of Chinese history, not that old. Qigong is, as I said, much, much, much older. Tai Chi, interesting enough, though, combined both Taoist and Buddhist methods as ways of originally for health for the monks, and then later on, and these things became applied to martial arts. And I think that's also important to remember that while we use the same terms in martial arts, when it comes to practicing the art, it's a little bit different. Like we talk about, for instance, the Dantian. Dantian is a concept that is from Chinese medicine. It's, of course, it has to do with your meridian system and channels. Okay, so that's one, how should I say, one construct. Chinese martial arts did not have a way to explain what they did. So they borrowed those concepts from medicine, but they're not exactly equivalent. So I think I'll talk a little bit about that because things, for instance, you read and you says, oh, sing Qi to your Dantian. Well, you can't actually do that because there's no physical connection between you and your Dantian other than the channel, but there's no physical, meaning organ, that attaches it to your Dantian. But in martial arts, the dantian is what? Is the qua. The qua is your pelvic region, is the hip, is the lower part of your abs, your core. So basically, in Tai Chi, you learn to use your core. And of course, from Western science, we know that core strength is very important to general health. And so Tai Chi teaches you how to harness the core, but also teaches you to what? Move energy. So one of the simple ways to look at moving energy in both Tai Chi and Qigong is that your body stands on top of the earth, for instance. As you stand on it, there's a force pushing up. And so as you move, you borrow that energy from the ground and kind of help you move. Okay. For Tai Chi, we sink into our dantian, but actually trying to sink into the ground itself. The ground pushes up. That energy coming up from the ground is harnessed by your body. You're able to channel it, move it through your body. That is what Tai Chi is about. So to practice Tai Chi correctly, one has to, of course, follow those principles in your practice. So I'm going to try and show you how to apply some of those principles to your health. Now, generally, in America, at least right now, the CDC recognizes Sun Style Tai Chi, and that's through the work of Dr. Paul Lam. He is a Tai Chi master and also a doctor in Australia. And it is through his data and his works that he has shown that Sun Style Tai Chi can have very good results for either curing or making the symptoms of arthritis go away. So that's a kind of the main study that's been done, and that is accepted by the CDC at this time. So part of what I will be talking about is how to apply Sun Style Tai Chi and what is Sun Style Tai Chi. Sun Style Tai Chi is easier to use, easier to teach, and it's easy on your joints. Doesn't have difficulties, and so forms designed for difficulty, like the traditional Chen or Yang forms, are actually not that useful for health. And that happens a lot when I talk about, have you ever done Tai Chi for health? Most people say, yeah, I've done Yang 24. Yang 24, it was not designed for health. 924, the 24 movement Tai Chi is designed for actual competition. It's a competition form. It's not a health form. People can argue with me a little bit, but historically, that's what it was created for, to allow people to practice Tai Chi to become either performance or for competition. And today it is a one of the forms recognized for international competition. But for health, we need something what? Simpler, easy to do. And it's not true you need a long, giant 108 or 128 form to get the benefits of Tai Chi. What you need to do is do a few moves and do them well. My teacher used to tell me that if you can do the first move correctly, beginning Tai Chi, then you don't need the rest of the set. The rest of the set was there because you couldn't do the first one right. So kind of interesting. And people think, well, there's a lot of variety in the rest of the form, but actually people don't realize in the first move, you contain, all right. Anyway, so those would be kind of the all of those things. The only thing is I do not have Mason today, so you only get me in this front camera. Sorry about that. All right, so we'll try our best. So there will be a break in the middle. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Number one. Number two, please feel free to get up and try these things. So for a student, I mean, for a student or a patient, if you have one, to get something out of it, you have to get something out of it first. So I certainly recommend that as a doctor, that you practice it yourself. Then it makes sense to introduce it to someone else. And also for that reason, because it's such a short seminar, we cannot teach you real complex things. But as I said, you don't need complex things when it comes to health. So keep in mind the 5 things that are necessary for Tai Chi to work. One is you have to have these, I think in the books they call it the polar opposites, but these are the things that have to balance each other for the Tai Chi to actually work. So one is hard and soft, fast and slow, internal and external, hard and soft. What did I say? Yin yang. Anyway, those 5. Let me see if I got them all. But remember, it's important to think about those things. And so they are contrast in your movements. So every movement in Tai Qigong, there is a yin or a yang element, a hard or soft element, an internal and an external element, a fast and slow element. So those are your 5 basic principles of Tai Chi or Qigong. Those things have to all exist. The other thing that we will incorporate and get to use your body. So unless you incorporate your legs, to begin with, one of the things to make Tai Chi possible, and actually something you can introduce to, again, patients, is that the body needs to be prepared for Tai Chi. You cannot just start with a form and expect the energy to move. For one thing, the body has to be relaxed. Each part of it needs to be able to move fluidly and relaxed in a relaxed manner. So the range of motion of each of your joints is important. So the first set of exercises we're doing are the Chansu Gong. So Chansu Gong, these come from Chen style Tai Chi, are required originally to be practiced before you actually do your Tai Chi. And so the bodies, the tendons, the ligaments, the joints, all have to be lubricated, loosened up. Every part of your fascia has to be connected. And so the purpose of practicing the Chansu Gong is to begin to do that. Softening the body, the organs, allowing things to get connected, beginning to move your energy. So we're going to do some of those. The Chansu Gong starts from the head, moves all the way down to your feet. So easy to remember. And you think about what each of the joints in your body you want to exercise in some way. So we're going to start first at the top of the head. So this is the Chansu Gong exercises. Okay, your feet are about shoulder width apart. The tongue is touching the roof of your mouth. When you do that, that allows the qi to connect and to flow through the microcosmic orbit of the Sanjiao. Okay, so relax your shoulders, your body, hands at your sides. You're going to rotate your head in front of your body. Okay, so from here, the body rotates in front. This loosens the neck muscles and the shoulder muscles. So if you've been sleeping incorrectly and your neck is kind of tight, this is the way to loosen it up. Now, the head must stay in front. Do not roll your head back, as that will grind your brainstem, and you do not want to do that. Okay. You may do this 6 to 9 times generally. I'm just going to do it for 6, and now we reverse it, go the other way. Okay, and then now, again, standing still, turn the head to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Again, good for your shoulders and your neck. Helps to relax those muscles, get the kinks out of you. And remember, when they're kinks, again, the chi cannot flow smoothly. And the whole purpose of qigong exercises is to help you get to move your chi very smoothly. Okay, and now we lift it up down, flip up, that, up, get up, down. One more time, up and down. Next, we move to the shoulders. When you get to the shoulders, you can hold your hands in front of you if you like, or just relax them. You're gonna raise the shoulder up and roll it to the back. Okay, so lift up and roll back. So from the side, you see the shoulders lift up, go to the rear, and then the body relaxes. Lift up and raise. Now rolling it forward, same thing. Hollow the chest, round the back, raise the shoulders, roll them forward, and then relax, let them fall back. All right. Next, we're going to rotate the shoulder and elbows at the same time. So that's the next set of joints moving down your body. So bring your hands together. So we're going to roll the shoulders out and down. So again, let me move back a little bit. So you roll it up and you open the chest here. And now as you finish the circle, close it back down, bring the elbows together. Elbows reach out. And so on the side here, they're making a circle. And then closing down. Open up, close down. Also notice my arm is rotating and turning. So the Chi-hsiu Gong, one of the main features of Chi-hsiu Gong is the joints, the limbs must rotate. Okay, so you're not just lifting your arm up like this, it's actually making a rotation. Now reverse and roll forward. Now I call these Chi-hsiu Gong, I guess I should translate to English. These are part of the silk reeling exercises of Chen style Tai Chi. Again, its purpose is to link the entire body, loosen the entire body, connect your 12 channels and meridians at the same time, and begin the function of allowing your chi to move through your body smoothly as you relax each joint and connect it. Okay, so that's double elbow circles. We're going to do a single one now. So my right leg is forward, is my right forearm, okay? So you're going to come forward across your body, pull it back. Actually, let's just stand even. That's easier to do. So come across your body and pull it back. Raise it up. Again, come across and pull. Now, a couple of things as I'm coming across, I sink slightly. You can bend your knees, and then I straighten slightly. This allows me again to activate my legs, so I can use the compression from the muscles of my legs pushing up and down to return the blood to my heart. So in Tai Chi and Qigong, we're interested in returning the blood to your heart rather than pumping it out. That way you limit the amount of work that your heart has to do. Okay, now switch to the other side. Again, your feet are facing forward. Your hands are at your elbow, at your chest, I guess. Come across your body, pull it across, raise it up, and bring it across. And now breathing in here, breathing out here. So generally for most people, when I'm teaching, the breath is the last thing you concentrate on. First is trying to do the movement properly. So of course, for that, you need to practice it yourself. So you have an idea how this actually works. Okay. And then get an idea of how it feels. After they've got the movement, you teach next, eyes need to follow the limb. Okay. Where your eyes are is where your chi will go. So it's also your focus point. It focuses your attention, helps you reach a meditative state. Okay, so that's going forward. Now we're going to go backward. So again, each joint is rotated first forward and then reverse. So now you're going to come all the way across to the other side, raise it up, bring it to the rear. And now again, the other arm. Again, raise it up, it goes to the rear, goes down, cross your body, and up. Now, after you've learned to concentrate your attention on your arm, you've got the motion, then finally you work in your breath. So on your breath, you're breathing in here, breathing out. Now, if the patient has irritated knees, they don't have to bend their knees, but bending the knees again helps to engage the legs, and that's an important part of the Taiji Qigong method. Again, helping you pump your blood back to your heart. And as the blood moves, remember it carries your chi. And then as your chi becomes stronger, it helps to push your blood. So all those things are occurring now at the same time. All right. So that's the shoulders, elbows. Next, we're going to do the fingers. Okay. Fingers and wrists. So the wrist is first. Just relax your fingers and turn. It's fairly easy to do. So go one way and of course reverse the other way. Okay. Now, this is without moving the rest of my body. Now I'm gonna sink and move my whole body. So as it comes in, I'm sinking down. As it's coming out, I'm pushing off the ground. So again, I'm trying to utilize the ground force, which is the ground pushing back, to power my movements. Okay, and then in reverse, same thing. Sinking into the ground and coming up each time. So before, if you just move your hands, that's all you're feeling moving. Right now, you can feel the energy from the ground coming back up as you're doing this. Okay, and now relax, moving both wrists and elbow. Okay, they're moving in opposite directions. One is up, one is down. All right. Now the next part's a little harder to see because again, I don't have Mason's regular camera that I use. So you're gonna have to kind of follow my instructions and try it yourself. So we're gonna do the hip circles. You're gonna push your hip out and turn. So your hips are making a circle. Okay. Make them fairly big. And now reverse the direction, go the other way. Now, hold your hands at your waist. Do not this time move your hips. So earlier we were moving our hips, this only your waist. So try and turn smoothly without moving the hips because you do not want to put pressure on the knees as you're practicing this. But again, this is to help with waist flexibility. So the waist and the core need to be flexible, okay, so that you can do movements easily. And also, of course, the flexibility of the waist is important because it powers all your movements. And the belt meridian, the daimai, is here. As you use your waist, you energize the daimai, helping it to feed the rest of your body. Daimai is again responsible for your Wei Qi, your aura. So this is good exercise to do in the morning. All right. So relax. Now we're gonna go down to our knees. So put your hands on top of your knees and slowly roll your knees in a circle. But do not do it too hard. Nice and gentle. And now reverse it. All right, excellent. The next one is a little hard to describe because you can't see it, but okay. I'm going to open half of my body. So as I turn out, I'm going to turn to my right. As I do that, my right foot is going to follow and it's going to turn outward. Okay. And then my foot is at this angle now. I'm going to turn it back facing forward again. So open the hips and your upper body and come back. Okay. So you can watch my hand. It tells you how my foot is moving. Okay. And now the other side, same thing. My feet are facing forward, but now I'm going to open it out, close it back. All right, good. And relax. So breathe in, slowly breathe out. Take a deep breath, and then use your fingers and your intention, direct the chi to the bubbling well point at the bottom of your feet. All right, so those are the one part of the silk reeling exercises that I feel are quite valuable for anybody, but also for general health for patients, because as I said, it loosens up all the joints, okay? It lubricates them, softens the body overall. It twists and turns the limbs. And actually the twisting and turning the limbs we were talking about at lunch, the twisting and turning of your limbs helps the fascia to connect to itself, which will allow the chi to move through your body, okay? Um, your channels and meridians are also part of the fascia. So as you're doing this, as you're moving, you're helping the energy to connect to different parts of your body as they rotate and turn. So Gong exercises, excellent way for general health. Now we're going to move on to working on some Qigong. So Qigong is breathing and meditation exercise. And in my practice, when we were in China, we would do the Gong first and then the Qigong practice, finally some Tai Chi. And I'm kind of going to follow in that direction. And we're going to be giving you some different tools from different styles of Tai Chi that you can use. So This set of Tai Chi Qigong is going to take a little while, about a half an hour to learn. This is the Yang style Tai Chi stationary Qigong. It's meant to help you feel your Qi. Okay. Help to move the Qi to your 12 channels and meridians. Okay, so that's important. Again, soften up the body, help you to feel the energy. And that's very important. Not feeling the energy, you cannot tell whether your Tai Chi or Qigong is actually working. So first, stand with your feet at attention, about shoulder width apart. The first, there are 12 movements to the stationary Qigong. The first movement to practice is called stand still to regulate your breathing. Basically, stand still. Now, as you're breathing, however, don't breathe here. Try and breathe from the diaphragm. So you want to be able to use this part to breathe. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm breathing from down here. Most people breathe from the upper part of the chest because it's easier to do. But when you were a child, you actually breathe down here. And as you got older, you forgot how to do this and used the upper part because it's quicker and easier to breathe. So you can take 6 to 8 breaths at the beginning. And now we go to the next move. After that, the movement is raise chi to the dantian. So how are we going to do that? So this is similar to beginning Tai Chi. It's actually the way beginning Tai Chi should be done if you're doing it properly. So first we're going to work just with the hands. The hands come up from your sides. The palms face each other. When you're about shoulder width, rotate the palms. Now reach forward. Imagine you can touch the wall. And now you're going to bend your knees and push down as if there's a pillow here. Push it toward the ground. Now your knees are bent now. Push up off the ground to come back up. Allow your hands to straighten. Okay, so let's just try that again. Again, hands come up. Reach. Press down. Remember to bend the knees. And now push up. Float back up. Okay, one more time that way. So again, mainly moving with the hands so far. Hand palms face each other. Rotate and turn. Push down. Bending the knees. The legs now push off the ground. Straightening your body again. Okay. Now, again, to add the legs in the beginning, as my hands come up now, my body is going to go down. So as my hands come up, I'm sinking downward. Okay. So if you notice, I'm standing here, I've actually dropped down a little bit. And now as I reach, I come back up, I straighten. Now I push down and push up. So that way you're utilizing the whole body. And you should feel your hand actually warm up almost immediately. So we're going to continue with that. If you again have questions on the exact details, and the details are important because if you don't do it correctly, you do not get the flow of the chi as it's supposed to be. Okay, so again, raise and sink. So I'm bending my knees, lowering my body. Reach up and straighten. Push down. Bend your knees. Straighten, come back up. All right, we'll do it 4 more times. And from now, try and do the whole thing continuously. Try not to break it up. And Make sure you come up to straightening out the body. Think of a string pulling your head up. Whole body is straight. And now raise the hands, lower the body, reach, body straight, push down. And one more time. Again, raise, palms facing each other, reach out, push down. Good. The next movement is open the chest to cleanse the body. So you're going to hollow the chest and breathe in. As you do that, open the chest. And now, when you come in, imagine you have a pillow between your hand. Squeeze that pillow this way, okay? Squeeze it together. Then relax. So this part you relax. No energy applied. Now, apply a small amount of energy here. Use your intention. Try and feel something being squeezed. Then relax and repeat. Squeeze, relax, lift. So before you start the next movement, and as you squeeze, you relax at the very end, and then the next movement begins. So from the side, you'll see my chest open up, and then the chest and back close. So here the body straight. Here's bends over just slightly. All right, next is pour Chi into the Bai Hui. Bai Hui is at the top of the head. Bring the Chi together. Aim the Logong point at the top of your head. Imagine you're directing Chi here. Now use your fingers and your intention to lead the Chi to the bottom of your feet. One thing, as you raise your arm, try not to raise your shoulders. And one more time. Now, as you finish this one, the hands turn over and you're pushing down. Okay. You're going to lift up. And as you lift up, the body goes down. As I push forward, the body straightens. Now watch the position of the hands. Now I reach, I draw Chi toward me, push it down. I come up, I separate the hands, the fingers face forward. As I push forward, the edge of my hand goes forward. So it's not the flat of my hand, it's the edge of my hand. And then reach, draw the Chi back to you. It goes to Tanzhong, your heart point. Sink the Chi to the bottom of your feet. And here you breathe in and you breathe out. Reach, breathe in. Breathe out. And one more time. So this is settle the wrists to push the palm. Okay, next, you raise up, but this time bring the hands to your sides and push out to the side. Now imagine you're a vacuum cleaner. Reach all the way up, draw all the chi toward you. Sink it down. Now, in a simple way, chi is just your breath. So think about drawing in oxygen, bringing it to your lungs. That's your coarse chi. Your lungs converts it into subtle chi. The subtle chi flows through your channels and meridians. So while doing this, of course, you must breathe. Do not hold your breath. So this is left and right to push the mountain. Again, these exercises good for seniors. There is a little development of physical strength, but you're not using a lot. We're using physical strength right at the end when you push. Just a little push, and then you relax. So Tai Chi tries to utilize the minimum of force to get the maximum effect. So you don't see any force here, and then right there, that little bit is where the force was applied. I relax. So it's a misnomer to think that Tai Chi uses no strength. No, actually it uses strength, but uses it very minimalistically, but also to get the maximum amount of effect. All right, so that is settle the wrist to push the palms and left and right to push them out. So each of these exercises comes in pairs, so kind of help you to remember them. Next two are animals. One is the bear and the other one is the eagle. So hands, you're still standing in the same position, bring it to your waist, push it forward. Now, you can do this without using your legs. This is just arms. So I should mention, this whole set of exercises we've just done, you can teach it to patients who only sit in a wheelchair. You do not need to stand up to do this. Okay. Now, to make it more efficient again, remember, you're bending your knees and pushing forward. What do you want to feel like? As I push into the ground, the hands come forward by themselves. Try and use the ground energy to push your finger forward. Try to use as little of your actual arm strength as you can.
Shifu Fong, please take a 10 minutes break. 1 hour.
Okay,
Thank you.
let me finish this and we will take a break. All right, very good. Actually, that brings us to about the halfway point, actually, of the Qigong exercises. Now, we'll do the opposite and then we'll take a break. The opposite one goes in the opposite direction. So again, remember to sink into the ground, the power of the arms going up. Again, we're using what I'm calling the ground force. The ground pushes up, energizes your body. So push into the ground, bring the hands up, the two back ridges of your arm face each other, rotate, then bring it back. Again, sink and then push. The breath is fairly easy. Breathing in, breathing out. So this whole set of Qigong is excellent for general health. But because it concentrates on breath, people with asthma, people with allergies, it can help them with those symptoms as it strengthens the lungs, the kidneys, and to some extent, the heart and spleen and stomach and large intestine meridians as we're moving. And one more. So breathe in, breathe out. And then important at the end, make sure you're so going. Now, the whole exercise, we've done about half of it right now, would normally take about 30 to 45 minutes if you do 9 repetitions of each. Again, for patients and people who are in different types of fitness, you need to modify it and you can make it shorter. So if you don't want to do 9 repetitions, 6 repetitions are fine if you're in a hurry. If you're in a wheelchair, for instance, I'll just illustrate it for a moment. I'm going to sit down in my chair. You tell the patients or students to sit on the front half of the chair. And now I do the same exercise we just did. Important thing is when the hands come up, you tell them to push into the ground each time. So I'm pushing with my feet into the ground and the hands come up. Same thing for the other one. I push into the ground to drive the hands forward. Okay. Then this can be taught to anyone, whether they're standing or in a wheelchair. It works the same way. Important thing is as they're in a wheelchair, they have to push with their feet each time. Push a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot, but the mechanism has to be there to encourage you to use those muscles in your legs to help the blood move back to your heart. All right. So I think, Dr. Weng, we're going to take a break here. Is that fine?
Yeah, please take a break
Okay.
and be back in 10 minutes. Yep.